So everyone, this video is episode 0, and it just goes through the world generation and class options that I chose, and I also yammer on a bit about the classes and how I played them and this and that. And my kid came in and chatted with me for a little bit, so the whole thing took like 18 minutes long after editing out some of the stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about the Vintage Story world, the different classes, the different world options, you can watch the rest of this video. Otherwise, skip ahead to episode 1 to get into the actual game. Anyways, this is Vintage Story. I'm obsessed with this game for the last couple of months. I think I've put in in total, probably 200 hours on this game already. And it's just so much fun. I cannot describe how much fun it is and how pretty it is. I mean, look at this. So it does have a very Minecraft-y look and feel with the world being based on blocks, but there's so much more to this game. It is not Minecraft at all, really. This is a much more survival-focused game, and it also has some eldritch horror elements in there. It has a storyline, and there are some NPCs you can talk to who'll give you quests and stuff, so this is vastly, vastly different. This game is actually based off of a Minecraft mod called Terra Firma Craft. I've never played it before, but apparently it just added a load of progression elements to Minecraft. Which felt kind of missing, and the mod maker just spun it off into its own game. It's still in early access right now, but it's been in development for a few years, like 5 years or something now, I think. But anyway, it's fantastic, so much fun. Let's get into it here. I'll quickly show you a few mods that I've got running. Now, this is a few. These 3 come with the game. World config, this just allows you to change some of the world creation settings without having to use commands. It just makes things convenient. So a Minecraft mod called Carry On, and it does the exact same thing. Basically, you can move around containers like chests and storage vessels that have stuff in it, so you don't have to empty it out first or break it. It's just for convenience. There's also an option for that mod where you can carry chests on your back and run around with extra inventory, basically. But I don't use it for that because I figure it makes the game easier, and the game is supposed to be challenging. And of course, my next one is specifically to make the game easier. Glowing arrows. This what this mod does is it creates a after you shoot an arrow, you have to go pick it up again, and they're darn hard to see, and you have to smith those things on an anvil, and it takes forever. And to lose your arrows when you're hunting just sucks. So this gives them a faint glow, as well as spears, so that you can find them again and pick them up after you've thrown them or shot any projectiles. This goes with the world config mod. This next mod, hanging oil lamps, just creates this nice little hanging oil lamp when you put an oil lamp on the wall, instead of just being literally this little square just stuck to the wall like it was stuck there or something. It just makes it look nicer. And this mod here, Resin On All Sides, basically there are trees that leak resin out of one hole on one side of the trunk, and it is so painful to try to find those trees because you have to circle around the trunk of every single tree, and the resin comes from pine trees and acacia trees, depending on which biome that you're in. But yeah, anyway, trying to find resin sucks because you're distracted looking up at all these trees. Meanwhile, forests are full of wolves and bears, which could maul you to death at any moment. So it just adds a lot of stress to the game. And status HUD, I'll show you this when we get into the game. Basically, it shows you things like the day and the time, and your armor durability, and whether or not the structure that you're inside qualifies as a room according to the game. That's an important thing when you're trying to build things like houses that are insulated from the cold winter, or cellars, or greenhouses. And those are all things in the game which require them to be rooms in order for them to function properly. This game is so freaking cool. Anyways, we're done with the mod showcase. Let's play the game. Create new world. And what should we call this thing? I don't know what to call it. KG's what? Something like that. I do enjoy hunting. It's one of my favorite things in the game, actually. It is really fun and satisfying. Okay, there's a few different world types here you can explore. If you like, I can explain those more on a later video, but we're going to play in the standard world with mostly vanilla settings. So let's customize this to make the world gen the way I want it and other things. So timer for items dropped on death. We're going to change that to 1 hour so we don't have to freak out when we die. And we will die. Totally. We will totally die. Survival challenges. Yeah, if you want to punish yourself, turn this one on. It's horrible. You can make this game really, really hard if you change some of these settings. Anyways, let's keep going here. I'm going to change this to 4 blocks. Prospecting pick node search. So if you're using something called a prospecting pick, you can break a block underground and it will search in a radius around you for different ores and tell you what's there. The default is 6 blocks, but I find this is really difficult to actually trace where the ore is that you're trying to find when it's 6 blocks away from the block you just broke. So I like to have mine at 4 blocks. Chiseling. This is a really fun part of this game that you can really get obsessed with. I'm going to pick that I can chisel most things. Color accurate world map. This basically shows the map as it actually is. So during winter, it'll be covered in snow. If there's like a patch of flowers, you'll actually see like a blue or whatever on the map, which I think is just prettier and more useful for finding things in the world. Temporal stability. So this is the eldritch horror part of the game. Yeah, this is a game mechanic that is suggesting that the world that we're in is not stable and it's being invaded by another world where nasty monsters come out of, basically. So we're going to leave all this as the vanilla settings. World Gen Landcover, we're going to make that 30%, just like, so it's basically 30% land, 70% ocean, just like Earth. And we're going to change Landcover scale, which determines how much ocean will be between pieces of land. We're going to make that 200%. And the reason I changed this is because they just added sailboats to the game. And they're really cool. You can put lanterns on them, chests. If you get a mount, you can get a rideable elk once you get further into the story of the game. And your elk can ride with you around the world in the boat, which is so cool. So I want there to be more oceans and less land, so I can have more fun with that feature. And this is why I had to cycle through a few seeds to find one that would put me on a chunk of land big enough to actually survive, or even big enough to make a raft and then just row off that landmass. But like most of the maps that I ran into had a tiny island to start with, and there weren't any resources to make a raft. And then you jump in the water and try to swim to the next land, and you just die of starvation because it's so far away. So this was the first seed that seemed to work for these settings. So that's where we're going with that. World Edge, I don't really know what this does, but I think I'd rather not fall off the world, so I'm going to pick blocked. And polar equator distance. So how far in blocks must a player walk to reach the equator, starting from the polar regions? It's set for 100k blocks, which I think is too much, really. It would be nice to manage walking to a warmer biome for fun. I have played on 25k block worlds before, but I found that the biome switched a little bit too much, or a little too near to me, I guess I would say. So we'll go with 50k blocks. Okay, and nothing else to change. Multiplayer. I don't know what auction house is for, but I guess it's fun. Class exclusive recipes. I'm on the fence about turning this off. If I turn this off, I can make all the stuff that the other classes can make, even though I have to pick a class when I start the game, and it does limit what I can do. I think I'll leave that on just to be more true to the play style, I guess. Maybe in a future playthrough I'll turn that off so I can goof around with all the stuff that the other classes can do. So I think I'm good. Also, I have that mod that allows me to change stuff like this and this without using commands, so that's handy. So I shouldn't worry too much. All right, apply. KG's hunting grounds. And I'm in, what am I in? 1.20.6. I'll just make a note of that in case just so I know what version of the world I created this in case this becomes a long-term world. It is useful to know that sometimes. Okay, let's go. This here is lore too, by the way. Wow, it loads so quickly on this computer. It's so slow on my crappy laptop. Ooh. Oh my goodness, the characters look pretty goofy in this game. Yeah. I'm gonna pick last selection. So this is the character that I usually look like, I guess. I like to have a ponytail and long hair because I got really long hair in real life. Dang. You'll notice there's only unnatural skin tones here. We actually play as a race called the Serif. And anyway, there's a bunch of lore that goes along with it, but we're tall, lanky kind of people. We look a little different from the other NPCs that we meet in the game. At the moment, it's mostly traders, but they just added a big lore update, so there's going to be more NPCs for us to interact with. And I've never played that part of the game yet, so I wonder if they'll look kind of like us. Anyways, so you can pick a lot of really fun stuff here. Let's just randomize a few times. Oh god. So that sound is our voice. We get a voice like a different instrument. That's crazy. Clarinet. Oh god, the accordion is so cursed. It sounds like farts. Oh my, that so sounds like farts. Oh my god. I'm having way too much fun with this. Excuse me. Excuse me, asthma. That's so funny. Top knot. Okay, we have to play with the mustaches. Just for a second. Neat walrus. What? Oh, that is cute. That's hilarious. That's my favorite mustache. I like that one. I don't know. I think I kind of want to look like a female character. We can... Should I have a smirk? Let's go smirk. Okay. We're gonna... I'm afraid to hit that button because I already went to the class tab and it might lock me into commoner. So let's go through the classes just a little bit so to give you an idea. You guys can read this stuff too. Let's see. Leave behind your old life, crawl into the new world. Crawl into the new world, okay. Commoners are generalists from a multitude of backgrounds. While they have no defining skills or strengths to speak of, they also lack the weakness of those who specialize. And I'm being approached by Kid 2. Hi. Hello, Kid 2.
Mommy, when are you gonna do a face review?
I got like 20 subscribers. I don't know if I'll ever do a face reveal.
Hold on.
I kind of like the anonymity, but at the same time, it might be fun to do a face reveal. I mean, I guess if people want me to do it, you know, later on, and they ask me to, then I probably will.
Where is episode 4?
Where is episode 4 of my Minecraft Hardcore World? It is in editing right now for the last 2 years. I know, it's been a while.
What is it gonna have Grimace in it?
No.
What are you editing it?
I like the first 7 minutes of it so far.
Editing.
What am I editing in it? What am I doing to it? Honestly, I'm just cutting out the boring stuff and putting in all the fun stuff. That's and it takes forever because Minecraft is so full of boring stuff.
Oh yeah, remember that time when you're like, slime,
distraction. Yeah, I know, but that's nice. But right now I'm playing Vintage Story, and I want to play Vintage Story. So
oh yeah, if you guys don't know Vintage Story, it's exactly like Minecraft, but at the same time, not exactly like Minecraft.
It is extremely different. The only similarity is that it's a block game, and well, I guess there's also building. You can build with the blocks just like in Minecraft.
There's building in every game, including Roblox, when you build your own game.
Totally. Hunter. Ooh, if you hadn't guessed from the name of this world, hunting is one of my favorite things to do, and Hunter is my favorite class so far. It was the first class that I tried after Commoner. I did try Commoner first. And I did try all the other ones as well, and so far Hunter is my favorite. Loose the arrow, kill the beast, take it home to your dying child. Eventually your child will die and you'll find yourself providing for someone else's dying child. So in the lore of this world, the hunters remained on the surface while most of the other populace went to hide underground because the surface was being ravaged by a disease. That's why the hunter is wearing a mask. So pretty neat. There's lots of lore in this game. I can't wait to get into it. I want to find all the lore books and read them all to you guys. Maybe I'll make a lore series, just like Timmy Two Nipples, another YouTuber who did a really great series on this game that I love, and I watch all his videos, and you guys should too. He said something about doing a lore series, and I just love lore. Lore is awesome. Malefactor. Malefactors are tenacious survivors who can avoid unwanted attention and find loot the others might have missed. A heavy conscience leads to weakness in combat, however. Oh, he feels bad for what he does. Oh, all right. Terrible things are done in the heart of despair. She is gone, but you remain. Ooh, I wonder what that means. Clockmaker. The machines never stop ticking down there. You've seen to that. You can hear them in your sleep. Oh boy. There are some mechanical monsters in this game, as you can tell from some of these perks, plus 25% damage against mechanicals. They are a bit few and far between though, but they are here. Clockmakers are masters of precision and systems. They can easily dismantle or repair machinery, but they have no stomach for violence. Yeah. Clockmaker. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a playthrough with a clockmaker, who knows. Blackguard. So these are like the fighter types basically. Fight if you must, kill if you must, don't look away. A hard gaze on life will see you through. Blackguards are fierce soldiers that thrive in a close-ranged skirmish. But a life of conflict has its downsides. They have no talent for delicate work and need more food to maintain their strength. Yes, I tried playing as a blackguard and immediately disliked it because the early game was so difficult because of the ravenous. Being 30% more hungry is really hard when you also can't pick up seeds because you're heavy-handed and you don't have good loot from wild crop harvesting. So it's hard to feed yourself when you can't farm things because you can't pick up seeds to farm food, and you're starving to death all the time. but in the late game, after your food is all sorted out, blackguards are OP. Tailor. Make a fitting garb so we may walk with grace once more. Oh, how nice. They must be talking about the seraph. The seraph used to be graceful, so he's got like a what are those things called? A pin cushion right there. That's neat. Tailors provide stylish clothes and clothing repairs to stay warm during the winter months. A lifetime spent in the city leaves them ill prepared for some hardships of nature. So these guys would be one of the more challenging classes to play for sure. But it might be fun to make some fancy clothes. And we're back to the commoner again. So those are the classes. I'm going to go with Hunter just because I have so much fun with this class and I really loved the ranged fighting. So we're going to go with that.